Good evening and welcome. My name is Jay, and I am your StriveScan facilitator for the evening, and we want to welcome you to this amazing fair. I have some great colleagues here who want to tell you all about their school and kind of debunk the myths of attending a Catholic university or college. So again, my name is Jay. I am with StriveScan, and we just want to welcome you to the National Catholic College Admission Association and Jesuit Education Tour Virtual College Fair. That was a mouthful, but only because you're going to get so much great information. I have a couple more housekeeping items, and then I will bring our real A-listers to the front. So I just want to let you all know that your camera and audio are completely off, so there's no one that can hear or see you. We would love for you to engage with us here and use the Q&A at the bottom of your screen to ask questions at any time so that hopefully our presenters can get to that. Also, this presentation is being recorded. So if you do need to, unfortunately, step away or anything, you can absolutely find this recording at strivescan.com/NCCAA. That's all I have for you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and ask our three presenters to turn their videos back on so they can take over from here. And you all have a great session.
Thanks, Jay.
So thank you, Jay. We'll start with introductions first. My name is Patrick Sprague. I'm the Director of Admissions at Spring Hill College. I'm a graduate of Spring Hill, class of 1998. I've been working in admissions since 2000. So I'm going into my 21st year working in higher education. So it's great to be here this evening, and we've got some great information for you.
And my name is Ryan Britt. I'm the Senior Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission at St. Peter's University. I'm also an alumni of St. Peter's. I got my bachelor's degree in 2015, and I just got my master's degree last year. Bachelor's was criminal justice, master's was cybersecurity. So yeah, I like to share my experience with students. I have a lot of good stories, and hopefully you guys will get some good information today.
Aloha, everyone. My name is Dior Ashton Teducio. I'm the Senior Admissions Counselor at Chaminade University of Honolulu. I am an alumna of Chaminade. I graduated in 2017 with my bachelor's degree in psychology, and then got my master's degree at Chaminade in 2020 in education. We're so excited for all of you to be here tonight to talk a little bit more about debunking the myths of college or Catholic colleges. And we're just going to start off with the first one, which is a big one. I got it today when I was at a fair. Do you have to be Catholic to attend your university?
So I'll tackle that one first from my perspective, being at Spring Hill College located in Mobile, Alabama. Absolutely not. From my experience at Spring Hill, and of course working with other Jesuit and other Catholic colleges, we actually encourage students of all faiths to attend. One of my first classes was actually a theology class, and I was amazed by the diversity in the classroom. And actually our professors really enjoy it. Because it brings a perspective not only of students who are Catholic, but then also from all walks of life. So it really adds to the campus experience. For students who are not Catholic, there's every opportunity to grow in your faith. And so I know a lot of Catholic institutions, Jesuit institutions, work hard to help students find their faith home in their areas. And that's something that we do here at Spring Hill as well. So I think before Father Lucy left, one of our former presidents, he mentioned, what our ultimate goal is as a faith-based institutions. And our goal is for each student to grow in their faith, regardless of their faith tradition, and just, get in a closer relationship with God. So I'm sure Ryan has some perspectives from his experience from St. Pete's. So I'll turn it over to Ryan.
Yeah, I think, I think the answer to most of the schools is going to be no. You do not have to be Catholic, Christian, in our case, Jesuit. We're a Jesuit school, which is a part of the Catholic Church. We accommodate all religions. We accept everybody. And when I first was applying to schools, I'm a Christian as far as religion goes, but I'm not a devout Christian, I guess you would say. I go to church sometimes, I pray in my own way and things like that. So when I was looking for schools, and honestly, my mother was the one who recommended St. Peter's to me, I was kind of weary because I didn't want to go to like some strict Catholic school that you hear things with like rulers and stuff like that. But And then when I started going, when I actually attended St. Peter's, it was just like any other college. It was actually more personal than a lot of the other colleges, and more accepting and more inclusive than some of the other colleges that I looked at. So I was pleasantly surprised by that. And when I walk around campus and I see people of all different religions, races and everything like that, I never would have thought that when I first, heard about St. Peter's, that, we would have, Jewish students and Muslim students, and um, it's, there's just so many different diverse groups out there, and, Catholic colleges are accepting of all of them, in my opinion.
I think for us here at Chaminade, obviously you don't have to be Catholic to attend our university. Actually, really interesting is that only about 40% of our students identify as Catholic on campus. So you can see that 60% are either other faiths or just students not identifying it as anything. And I think my colleagues over here have said it, it's a very diverse campus with a bunch of different students coming from all over, and that makes classroom discussions more interesting. For us, the Catholic faith and the Marianists, which is a branch off of the Catholic religious orders, the Marianists, that's where we're rooted and founded. That's where our traditions lie in our curriculum and who we are as an institution. And so I think you just have to kind of see, I've heard a lot where it's like how Catholic is an institution. And I think that's where you can really see for us, it's just where our traditions and values are rooted into. So.
Great responses. So I get to ask the next question for the panel. Catholic schools are too pricey. Myth or fact? Who wants to answer that one first?
I'm gonna say a myth. At least in St. Peter's point of view, a lot of times Catholic schools end up being private schools, which private schools are usually end up being a little bit more pricey than public schools. However, a lot of the times the students don't realize is that also comes the scholarships also come into play. So being a private school, you have a lot more variety and options of what kind of scholarships you can get. So I'm not gonna lie, St. Peter's, looking at the price tag, it's a little bit daunting. Our tuition's about $38,000 per year. For a commuter student, it jumps up to about 55 if you're gonna live on campus. And that is about average, for a private university, especially one in our area, close to New York City. And it's about average. However, our scholarships, every single student that goes to St. Peter's will get a scholarship, so no student is ever going to pay the full price. And our minimum scholarship right now is $20,000. So just for being accepted, you're guaranteed at least $20,000, and that's more than half of what the price tag of the university is. So some people will see the price and they'll be like, oh, it's a Catholic school, it's so so much money, but before they complete the financial aid and scholarship process, once they finish that, they realize, oh wow, it is really affordable because they help with the price. So that's how it is for St. Peter's, at least.
For us at Chaminade, it's definitely something for at least our local students. When they hear private, they instantly think expensive. So we're known as an expensive school when in actuality, we're not too pricey. Our tuition for our general studies is about $27,000. For students that are interested in nursing, it's about $34,000. And that's that ticket price that I like to say. But one of the biggest things that Ryan has mentioned is scholarships. And for us, if you are a student that attends a Catholic high school, or you're active within your Catholic parish, sometimes colleges have specific scholarships dedicated to you. And I know at least here at Chaminade, our scholarship is dedicated to students that are going to graduate from a Catholic high school, and that's up to about 75% off of tuition for all 4 years. So you've got to look into that and just see, what those scholarship options are before pushing private schools to the side during your college search process.
All great answers. You guys are tenured recruiters. It seems like you've been on the road for as long as I have. So kudos to your supervisors at your institutions for well-trained answers. I think, not too much more I can add to their responses. I think they leaned a lot on scholarship opportunities. And I think any messaging that I can give is go through the admissions, scholarship, and financial aid process. And really what you want to determine is what that bottom line out-of-pocket cost is going to be. And I bet, bet you $1 million you're going to be surprised that, colleges and universities, if you want to be at their institution, they're going to try to work with you every step of the way. One of the facets I want to mention is a key component to the financial aid process is filling out the FAFSA. The FAFSA is very important. So scholarships are going to be based on your achievements in high school. It could be an athletic scholarship. It could be something based on major, band, music, whatever the case may be. But there are other opportunities based on the FAFSA, and that's key for most college universities in terms of determining need-based financial aid. And that's what colleges use to determine financial aid packages. For us, what we decided, actually, we're one of the few this past year that actually did a tuition reset. And so we actually cut our costs by almost 50% because what we were seeing was students being scared off by the sticker price of our institution. And so actually our tuition and fees for this current year is just over $21,000. With room and board, we're looking at $31,000 total direct costs. So point being, whether it's St. Peter's, whether it's Chaminade, whether it's Spring Hill, if it's an institution that you're interested in and has what you want in terms of major, size, location, go through the admissions process, find out about scholarships, and definitely learn more about financial aid, and you may be surprised. So.
All right, we have another myth here, and then Patrick, I'll let you go first for this one. There's a myth that Catholic schools aren't diverse.
Man, that's a tough one, Ryan. You would throw the tough one at me first, right? Diversity. I think Catholic colleges as a whole work extremely hard to bring in a diverse student population, and I think it's diversity from every part of the word, right? So gender diversity, ethnic diversity, geographic diversity, socioeconomic. It's important to try to bring in a diverse group of students to give students the opportunity to grow and learn from others and really ultimately become the best version of themselves. And we can't forget international students as well. I think we do a great job. We, Jesuit and Catholic and all these Catholic colleges do a great job of bringing over international students, and it really makes a difference in the classroom because typically our class sizes are small, which means our students get to know our professors get to know them, but then they also get to meet their classmates and build those lifelong friendships. So it really makes a big difference in the classroom, also in extracurricular activities, in the residence halls. Some of the friends I met my freshman year, I'm still friends with today, and they were from all different walks of life. So can't say enough about how amazing our Catholic institutions do in terms of recruiting a diverse student population.
And I wanted to jump in here and just say, like, I think a big part, I think being a Catholic school doesn't really have any effect on diversity, in my opinion. I think it's more about the location, of the school. So for example, St. Peter's, we're located in Jersey City, New Jersey. We're right across the Hudson from New York City, and Jersey City is actually the most diverse city in the nation, and that is actually totally reflected in our total enrollment with our students. We have one of the most diverse schools in the nation, and I think the most diverse school in New Jersey, and we're a Catholic school. So it kind of just goes to show you. I think that myth is just that's one that's out there, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree anymore with you, Ryan. I mean, it is about location too. I mean, for us here at Chaminade, like, can you imagine sitting in a classroom with a student from California, but also from Hawaii, but from Tonga, and then from New Zealand, and then from New York? Like, where are you going to get that? It's definitely about location. And I think each institution brings a unique, diverse student body that can contribute a lot to your education. And like Patrick said, your overall growth as an individual, especially these important times of your life as a young adult. So the next, I guess, topic, we're going to switch from myths, for me at least, is religious life on campus? Like, are there nuns? Are there brothers? Are there priests that live on campus? And what is their involvement with, the university and maybe the students?
So Spring Hill is a Jesuit school. On average, we have anywhere from 8 to 10 Jesuit priests who live on campus. And, they're a part of our campus community. So they teach classes, not only theology classes, but English, theater. They're involved in extracurriculars. Father Campbell teaches our theater productions, heavily involved, obviously, in campus ministry. And so what's cool about the Jesuits, they are one of my favorites. They love walking around, at least here in the South, with sandals with socks. I don't know. It's just very unique, very personable, very easy to talk to, hang out. They have lunch. I know students like to dine over at their residence every now and then just to talk about life. We feel that they are the experts in education. They commit to lifelong learning is one of the mottos of Jesuit education. So I think it's a really inspiring experience to have that type of influence on campus, to help kind of guide your way.
Yeah, and very similar to Patrick. I mean, I don't think our Jesuits live on campus in the buildings. There are definitely some that live around the area, but they're on campus every day. And and what Patrick was saying, like, I love the Jesuits too, because when you think of like a priest or a religious leader, you think of like this, stiff, like, I don't know how to explain it, like an authority figure or someone that's, oh, don't do that, that's bad, something. But then when you talk to a Jesuit, you're just talking to another person who just loves everybody. And it's really cool, to have that influence on campus. Our Jesuits are in charge of our campus ministry department, and they're really involved on campus with community service. So, being a Jesuit school, Catholic school, we don't require our students to do community service like some high schools might or something like that. But we find that over 80% of our students do participate in some kind of community service. And I feel, in my opinion, that's just kind of the relationships that they build with the Jesuits and the culture on campus. And it just kind of makes them into that person who wants to do good, and wants to be, a fighter for justice, social justice, and things like that. And the Jesuit order of the Catholic Church, they're really all about education. That's one of their highest values, besides social justice. And it's really cool to have a school that gives you more than just the classroom, learning about a particular major. You really learn how to be a better person, like, for the world. And I think that's a really cool opportunity that we have. I want to mention a personal story. So, when I was living on campus one year. It was my freshman year. Not a lot of people were on campus. I think it was during one of the breaks, and so I was bored. I didn't really have anything to do, and some of my friends were going to do this thing called Rebuild Together, which is kind of like a Habitat for Humanity, where they literally go and help, rebuild homes that have been affected by, natural disasters or something like that. And this was during the time of Hurricane Sandy, which, devastated our area. And there were a lot of people that really needed help. So my friend said, hey, come on, you got nothing to do, let's go. And I was like, all right, I'll go. So we end up, we're at this construction site basically, and people are literally building a house. Like, there's a construction crew on site with a foreman and everything. We're just kind of doing the grunt work, like, banging in some nails, mixing some cement, bringing over materials, stuff like that. But I'll never forget the family. There was a family who walked up to the construction site. It was a mother, daughter, and a father, mother, father, and daughter. And I'm looking, and I just see the mother just start bawling, crying. And I was like, kind of what's going on? And I kind of realized this was the family whose house that we were working on. So I don't know what it was about that, but something kind of hit me, and it struck me, and it literally changed my life forever, because I seen how just a few hours of my time, like I didn't go over there because I was an amazing person, and I wanted to do community service and sacrifice my time. Like, no, I was bored. My friends convinced me to go over there, and just seeing how a few hours of my time, like this family, just a few hours of my time so dramatically affected this family that it literally brought the mother to her knees crying. That really changed my whole outlook on life. And ever since then, I try to do more things like community service or anything that could really help other people, because I feel like that's such an important part of life in general. So I'll never forget that experience. And that was something where I went out of my comfort zone, and I really encourage everybody to kind of go out of their comfort zone and explore, because you never know what kind of experience or you're going to have, or what kind of people you're going to meet. It's just, and all of that, in my opinion, was facilitated by the culture on campus. I wouldn't have went to go do community service if my friends weren't like, hey, let's go to community service. So that's just a little personal story that I wanted to share with you guys. I found a good spot to fit that in.
It's a great story, Ryan. I know tough to follow that. We got to move on to the next question, man. That's but no, I think it's good to provide those type of anecdotes to really to hit it home and really share that experience. So we appreciate you sharing that. I get to ask the next question. Student life. I think sometimes there's a myth that Catholic schools don't offer any type of student life or extracurricular activities. So Dior, do you want to tackle that one first?
Yeah, of course. Brian, that was an amazing story. Definitely hard to follow up to that. So
no,
thanks for sharing. No, thanks for sharing. That's great. Yeah, student life. I mean, for us here at Chaminade, it's like a weird plug-in, but I'm just going to do it. We were voted #1 as the best student life in the state of Hawaii. So I think our students are doing something really well in regards to just living their best life in Hawaii. But no, there's a ton of different things, whether that's intramural sports or study abroad or clubs and organizations. There's a ton of different things. For us, at least, we have cultural clubs. So if you want to learn a little bit more about the Hawaiian culture or maybe the Japanese culture, you can join that club. Or we have clubs specific to, academics, forensic sciences club, pre-med club. So there's always something. I guess our favorites is the adventure club, and just following up with like religious life, our adventure club, our brothers, our Marianist brothers usually participate in that. And that's because they're going on adventures. They're going skydiving, zip lining, stand-up paddle boarding. So the brothers like to, get involved in that because, well, what better way to do it than to interact with the student body and build community. That's the biggest thing for them. But there's a ton of different things to do, whether that's with campus ministry, if you want to continue or start a spiritual journey, our campus ministry is there to support you. We have retreats available throughout the entire academic year, but I feel like that's, every school has an amazing, student life available for students. You're not just going to college to earn a degree, you're also, growing up and you're having fun. So that's a little bit about what we have at Chaminade, at least.
I may have to transfer to Chaminade and work in that admissions office. That's tough to beat. Yeah, I think she hit the nail on the head. Each college university has lots of different opportunities. I think a couple things just to add. If they don't, it's easy to start your own club, right? You just need to get a small group of friends just to start something new. And with the times changing every day, it seems like kids are coming up with the craziest ideas for clubs. There's definitely opportunities for you to grow and learn and bring your passions and find somebody else that has those same passions. And so fun clubs, obviously service clubs through campus ministry. Can't forget about academic organizations where you can get involved through your program of study and get connected that way. Lots of opportunities. And of course, when you think about extracurriculars, you can't help but think about athletics. And many colleges, Catholic colleges have D1 sports, D2, D3, NAIA, and are super competitive. And opportunities for scholarships or opportunities to go on and support the team and show your spirit for that school and that sport. So I think we definitely encourage it. I encourage students. So wherever you end up in terms of that next college or university, sign up for more than what you can do, just to kind of feel them out and kind of peel back the layers a little bit and see what interests you most, but also what fits in your schedule. That first couple weeks of classes can be a little intimidating, but most college universities have some sort of fair that provides opportunities for you to sign up and learn more. We call ours Badger Expo. Our mascot is the Badger. And so it gives opportunity for students to sign up for those things. And the last thing I'll talk about is Greek life. A lot of Catholic colleges have opportunities for you to get involved in a Greek organization and take advantage of that opportunity. One thing to note for Spring Hill specifically is we have deferred rush. So whether you do or you don't, there's no pressure to join a fraternity or sorority your first semester freshman year, which I personally think is the right way to do it. But look into those opportunities, definitely take advantage. You can't go wrong.
Yeah, that one's hard to follow. There's not really much I can add to that, but one thing I did want to mention. So, Catholic colleges, they have the same clubs, as another similarly sized school in the same location. There's really, they might have more of a focus on, they might have more clubs that have to do with service and things like that. But for the most part, we had a what is it, the Quidditch club on campus when I was a student here. Quidditch, like, the game in Harry Potter where they fly on the broomsticks. I'm not 100% sure what was going on in that club, but we had it on there. I was part of a Pokemon club. We played Pokemon cards, and we went to competitions and competed, and we even won money. We donated it, half of it. The other half, we used for pizza parties and stuff like that for our meetings and stuff like that. But there's such a a diverse option for extracurriculars on campus. And I don't think that a Catholic school really has any less options than a regular school would, or a public school or something like that. All right, so the next myth that I've seen out there is that Catholic schools don't teach a standard curriculum. So I'll go first. I think that's false. Especially if the school's accredited. In order to be accredited, you have to, follow a certain curriculum, and you have to meet certain guidelines and standards. So, if a Catholic school is accredited, it's going to be offering you the same standard curriculum that you would get at a standard or a public school. It's at least at St. Peter's. There's kind of two categories of classes that you have to take, right? You have to take your major classes, and this is half of your degree. So you'll take your major classes in one of the majors, but you'll also take your core classes or general education classes. And your core classes, these are classes that everybody has to take no matter what major they're in. So that's like your math, English, history, science. And being a Catholic school, we also have theology in there. So you are required to take a theology course, but it's not like something that's kind of forcing a religion on you or something like that. It's more of a general idea of the overview of religion, in general, and the differences and, comparison between each religion. I remember my first theology class was and just an overview of all the religions. I learned about Taoism, Judaism, everything. And I think it's really important to come out of a college as like a well-rounded student. So don't be just an expert in one single subject area. We want you to be able to go to a table and mingle with people of all different disciplines. So we incorporate that in the core curriculum. And if anything, at least in the Jesuit schools, our core curriculum is very rigorous. So there's a lot of classes that you have to take, like your psychology, sociology, philosophy, theology, all the ologies. No, I'm just kidding. But there's a lot of courses that you have to take as part of your core curriculum that don't even have to do with your major. So in my opinion, I would say that myth is false. Catholic schools are able to have a standard curriculum. If anyone else wants to jump in.
Yeah, I'll add, I think, great response, Ryan. One of my professors, my freshman year at Spring Hill, Father Harmless, um, he told one of the things that stuck with me to this day is, and I think this is true for any Catholic college, but he said it specifically for Jesuit colleges, is going to prepare you for a world that doesn't exist yet. And I think that's a pretty powerful statement. And a lot of what Ryan said in terms of providing that well-rounded education, I think is part of that. Yeah, you're going to get courses in your area of study, but you have a great opportunity to learn about, Plato or Socrates and philosophy. My logic class I'm actually using now in the work that I do with just running reports in Salesforce, if then logic. So, I think the point being is, it's a great opportunity to help you grow as an individual, to become, as Ryan had said, to become a well-rounded, a great, well-rounded person. I think it's also an awesome opportunity if you're not sure of what you want to do in terms of a major. It gives you an opportunity to explore across different disciplines and maybe discover a passion that you really just didn't know anything about. So for those students who are undecided, I think, our Catholic college, opportunities is tough to beat. And then for those that exactly know what they want to do, it's a great way to strengthen that, but also support that with other programming and other classes along the way. So, I know a lot of the students I know are picking up a minor or double majoring, to be a little bit more competitive in the workplace. So yeah, I think our curriculum is tough to beat. So, anything you want to add?
I feel like I can just echo both of you. It's curriculum, like that's exactly it. Everyone is a liberal arts institution. You're going to get a little bit of everything, but I'm going to jump into the next myth, which is Catholic schools don't prepare students for the real world. And this is great because we were just talking about curriculum, and at least for here at Chaminade, we definitely prepare students. We have a career counselor, an internship coordinator. We have a post-baccalaureate advising office that is there if students want to continue their education in a PhD program or medical school. But not only that, that's also within leadership opportunities if you're wanting to do that in your undergraduate experience. I have students that are in student government and they're sitting side by side with the president of the university talking about issues that are being brought up at our school and feeling empowered to speak about this. I feel like I would be losing every marble in my body talking about something with the president of the university. But these students are getting those opportunities and they're learning how to, articulate and to present themselves in a manner to speak on behalf of the student body. And so if Ryan or Patrick, if you want to add in about, what your universities do in preparing schools, for the real world.
Well, you can't see it, but I have our one of our mottos is real world ready. So I think you're had a lot of key points to make that our schools are going to help you take that next step. Just like your high school is preparing you for that next step in terms of going on to college, our college and universities are there to help prepare you for that next step after, whether it's going on to graduate school, whether it's going on to get a job. We do have a number of students that do volunteer work, JVC, the Jesuit Volunteer Corps, after they graduate, before they go on to pursue their passions. So, I think that's super, super important. At Spring Hill, within our teacher education department, for example, our students, our freshman year, can actually go out and observe classrooms to really just determine, hey, is this really what I want to do? Do I want to be an elementary school teacher? So a lot of our schools are going to give you opportunities to get those internships. And a lot of times those internships are going to lead into jobs. We bring companies onto campus to do mock interviews, to hire our students. Just because, I know with the diversity question that impacts, all of our schools, but all of our schools are well connected, not only in our areas, but I would say nationwide and maybe in some points globally as well. And so in some cases, you could get an internship in another part of the country that you're not even from, just to kind of have that experience. So real world ready is one of our new mottos at Spring Hill that we're striving forward with. And I think a lot of the college universities, the Catholic schools that hopefully you're looking at echo that same statement. Fine.
Yeah, Patrick, I was happy you said that because I was waiting for that. When we were emailing each other before the presentation, I was admiring that in your signature, the real world ready. And then, yeah, as far as St. Peter's goes, I mean, yeah, we absolutely prepare the students for the real world. That's literally what we're all about. You know, and one of the ways we do that is through our SEAL department. It's CEEL. It stands for Career Engagement and Experiential Learning. That department is basically like your career services department. They help you, you know, with getting job interviews. They help you with getting internships. They have a whole section of their team that's dedicated to recruiting companies, organizations, businesses to get you these internships to allow you to have this experiential learning, because, you know, that is such an important part of the education, the real world, you know, the experience of it all. I remember when I was a student, and this was, you know, back in around 2010 is when I graduated high school. You know, back then it was, you know, it was good if you got an internship, you know, not like today where you can get multiple internships, you know, each semester, things like that. When I was a student, I had 3 separate internships, and it was, you know, it was great if you could get 1. 2 was, you know, out there, and 3 was unheard of, you know. So, and all that was because of the connections that my professors had with people in there, the connections that were made by, you know, the SEAL department and their hard work going to find these people to allow you to go into their, you know, businesses and actually work and get that experience. So yeah, we absolutely prepare you for the real world, in my opinion, and that's really what, you know, we're all about. And I think that about does it for our list of myths that we've seen out there.
Yeah.
I see Jay. If Jay's back, that means we're done, huh?
I'm back. We're wrapping this up now. I just want to take a quick moment and say thank you to the 3 of you for bringing your genius and your professionalism and all that good stuff here. I know it's going to benefit a lot of people. I'm just going to share my screen right quick just to close us out properly. For anyone who is out there, there is a short survey to close out and do with us. Pay attention to anything else going on in the world of collegiate as you look for your next institution. We at StriveScan will be hosting fairs all over the season. Again, you have these 3 great schools. If you want to learn more, please reach out to them because I'm sure they have more they could easily tell you. And I hope you all have a wonderful night. Bye now.